When we think, the average NBA host is about 12 to 13 players. 5 starters, 5 bench players, and a couple of reserves. Everybody plays a role. When we think of champions, there are certain expectations that we have of these champions. Were they clutch? Did they make the big play when it counted? Did they play significant minutes? When it comes to the NBA, we know that there are 5 starters, 5 bench warmers, and like 2 reserve players that probably never play. When we think of the playoffs, we think of the 5 starters, and maybe the bench shrinks a little bit because not all 5 players play in the playoffs. We're talking about maybe 2 players play in the playoffs. And when we think about the finals, man, listen, if you're getting any minutes in the finals, you know you one of those. But when we think of champions, there's certain boxes you have to just check as a champion because having a championship isn't enough, right? There's several players in the NBA that have won championships throughout the years that we're just like, this man is a champion, but he never played. But nonetheless, you get a ring for being a part of the team. So when it comes to the criteria of being a champion, we always think of what? The plays that you made, at the pivotal times that you made them. Were you clutch? Did you play defense? And are you the reason that this team won a championship? We tend to reserve those expectations for the superstars. The Michael Jordans, the LeBron James, the Kobe Bryants, the Shaquille O'Neals, the Kareems, the names, the list go on and on and on. But what about Robert Horry? Yes, that Robert Horry with 7 championships as what some might arguably call the best role player in NBA history. Today, we give flowers to Robert Horry. And I should like Robert Horry. Today, we give flowers to Robert Horry because, to be honest, when I came up into basketball, I vaguely remember Robert Horry's history. I just know the facts behind this man, that he has 7 rings. We're going to travel back through time and look at the career of the man with 7 rings that nobody talks about.
NBA role player? Of course you do. They're the best. They're the unsung heroes. The guys who don't get all the minutes, who don't get all the touches, who have to make every shot count. Whether they're specialists, locker room guys,
Boris Diaw was
guys,
annoying. I remember
the
Boris.
Best role players just make your team better. And I'm not talking about guys like Dennis Rodman or Manu Ginobili, elite Hall of Famers who got overshadowed by teammates. I'm talking about guys like Steve Kerr, Vinnie Johnson, Derek Fisher, Danny Green, and Michael Cooper, just to name a few.
Danny Green, oh man.
The best role player who has ever played in the NBA, I will not listen to a word you say unless we are talking about Robert Horry. Who's Robert Horry, you might ask? Oh, he's just a 6'10" stretch forward who was drafted 11th overall in the '92 draft. He played for 16 years and was a versatile plus defender who made second team All-Rookie. He averaged 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists a game for his career.
Wow.
And that's it. Never an All-Star, never an All-NBA anything. Except he did win 7 NBA championships.
Averaging 7 points?
More championships than Michael Jordan did. More championships than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He has more rings than LeBron James and Wilt Chamberlain combined. His 7 titles are the most won by any NBA player who was not part of the Bill Russell Celtics dynasty of the 1960s.
Oh shit, wow.
And Robert Horry wasn't just on the team that won the championship 7 times like some schlub. More often than not, he had at least one profoundly memorable playoff moment
Always.
that helped tip the scales in his team's favor.
Always.
He's remembered as Big Shot Rob. There's a section on his Wikipedia page that's just notable playoff clutch plays, for Christ's sake. When I did the whole, oh, he was a second team All-Rookie and that's it thing, I was giving you the runaround. And you fell for it like a chump. Robert Horry still has the record for the most steals in a single finals game. Still has the record for the most threes hit in a playoff game without a miss. He registered more career playoff steals than Dwayne Wade, more playoff blocks than Kevin Garnett, and brought down more boards in the playoffs than David Robinson or Moses fucking Malone. He retired with the record for the most career three-pointers hit in the finals and walked away as the game's all-time leader in playoff games played.
What?
He had that dog in him.
I'm not even gonna lie. Some of these are blowing my mind. Like, I knew Robert Horry had the 7 rings, but some of these records are like, what?
He was always calm, cool, and collected. The furthest thing from a rah-rah guy. But he didn't give a single shit about minutes or touches. And to a man, all of his former teammates swear by him and rave about how smart he was. Now, the elephant in the room. Was he lucky? Was it luck that he found himself on championship caliber rosters next to all-time greats year after year?
Yeah, I mean,
sure, if you hate fun. But if you're like me and you don't hate fun, you know that Robert Horry succeeded all those years because of his innate greatness, because he possessed the Midas touch, because what you call luck is his intentional manipulation of the fabric of the basketball universe to his will. And he is the orchestral conductor of the theoretical framework for existence that we call string theory. Sorry. Got away from me a bit there. He was a totally pedestrian player by almost every metric. And then, when the lights were brightest, when the chips were on the table, he got the goddamn job done, like few players ever have. His legend began his rookie year, the 92-93 season with the Rockets. The second round of the playoffs against the Sonics comes down to a Game 7. With 35 seconds left, the game is tied. Who hits the shot to take the lead as the shot clock expires?
Robert Horry.
Robert Horry. Houston lost the game in OT, but still, rookie season, clock running out, playoff Game 7, biggest shot of the season, cans it. He didn't really have any crazy heroics when the Rockets won the title the next year in '94. Just really good contribution that consistently got better as they made it deeper and deeper into the playoffs. He was the team's 6th leading scorer in the regular season, became their 4th leading scorer in the playoffs, and was the Rockets' 3rd leading scorer in the finals against the Knicks. He made up for the heroic stuff the next year in the '95 playoffs. The Rockets played the Spurs in the conference finals, the series that's best remembered for the Olajuwon dominates Robinson video. But Robert Horry did his part too. In the first game, he only made one shot. What was it? The game winner with 6 seconds left.
I'm weak. Stepped up too.
For most guys,
said screw the
that would be
three.
Enough. But not Robert Horry. In the '95 finals, he came alive. Where in the regular season he had averaged 10 points and 5 rebounds a game, he lit the Magic up to the tune of 18 points and 10 rebounds in the finals. Yeah, he nearly doubled his regular season stats in the finals.
That's crazy too, considering he averaged 7 points for his career.
Did Michael Jordan
finals dropping 18?
I don't think so. And that's still not all. In Game 3 of the finals, the Rockets were looking to take a 3-0 series lead and essentially clinch the series. Clinging to a 1-point lead in the game's dying seconds, the ball finds its way to its favorite spot in the world, the hands of Robert Horry.
Pull up, Tracy. Bang! Can't make this up.
14 seconds left in the game. He buries the dagger, icing the game and the series. The Rockets went on to sweep, becoming back-to-back NBA champions. Again, for a lot of guys, that would be enough. For like a whole career. Being a key player on back-to-back champions with a couple ice-cold game winners under your belt, that's already a pretty sick career. Big Shot Rob was just getting started. He got traded to the Suns during the '97 season as part of the Charles Barkley deal. He didn't like it in Phoenix and really didn't like head coach Danny Ainge, so Horry did what anyone would do and threw a towel in his coach's face in the middle of a game. 4 days later, he was traded.
Shit. Yo. What? Nah,
really
bro.
Didn't like head coach Danny Ainge, so Horry did what anyone would do and threw a towel in his coach's face in the middle of a game.
I have no
4
commentary.
days later, he was traded and became a part of the 1997 Los Angeles Lakers. The same 97 Lakers that had just signed Shaquille O'Neal and who had just drafted Kobe Bryant. He only played in 32 games for the Suns before getting himself traded to the league's next dynasty. When the Lakers rounded into shape and became contenders a couple years later, you can be good and goddamn sure that Robert Horry was there for it. In a huge Game 4 of the 2000 Finals against the Pacers, a game remembered for the Kobe-Reggie duel, Horry helped man the fort with 17 huge points off the bench. He shot 60% from the floor, went 5 of 7 from the line, and led the team in plus-minus. The Lakers won the game
crazy
to take a 3-1 series lead. And Horry got his third championship ring after they won the title in Game 6. The next year, in the 0-1 finals against the Sixers.
Son, by the time he played with Kobe and Shaq, that was his third ring. The average superstar calls that a full life. And Robert Horry wasn't even halfway done with his legacy with 3 chips.
Robert Horry saved the day again. With the series tied 1-1, things were slipping away from the Lakers in Game 3. Shaq and Derek Fisher were playing in foul trouble, Kobe was ice cold, and the Sixers were rallying back, with the Philly fans losing their minds. So, after just 3 points through the first 3 quarters, Horry had a perfect fourth quarter. Literally, 3 for 3 from the field. An early 3-pointer to stave off the rally.
Yes! Robert Horry, how often have we seen him?
A huge, nasty dunk over Dikembe Mutombo, and the game's biggest shot. A monster 3-pointer with 47 seconds left to kill the Sixers' momentum and extend the lead to 4. And when Philly had to play the foul game, he went 4 for 4 from the line. 7 of his 12 fourth quarter points came in the last 47 seconds of the game. Not to mention his exceptional defense throughout. The Lakers won the game and then the title 5 days later. What a player. For good reason. They were talking after the game about how Robert Horry did not have blood, but ice water coursing through his veins. If only they knew. He was still just laying the foundation for his greatest hits. Now a 4-time NBA champion, Horry and the Lakers were looking to three-peat in the 2002 playoffs. Trying to win the game and sweep their first-round best-of-5 series against the Blazers, the Lakers are down 2 points with 10 seconds left in Game 3.
I remember this. Oh my God, son. This is God's work right here, bro. I don't know how the ball ends up finding Robert Horry, but talk about right place at the right time.
Yes. What happens next?
Oh, not this one. Okay.
Yep. Robert Horry, 3-pointer to win the game. He finished the game with 8 points. That was the only 3 that he made. Chef's kiss. Which brings us to one of Big Shot's chart toppers in the 2002 Western Conference Finals. Kings-Lakers. A series that is remembered for being chippy and competitive throughout.
I think this was the game.
And for literally nothing else. Entering Game 4, the Kings held a 2-1 series advantage over the Lakers. And if the Lakers fall down 3-1, it's probably curtains on the season.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was this game, matter of fact.
Out of an early hole in the game, rallying from a 24-point deficit.
Robert Horry literally at right place, right time.
Cutting into the lead bit by bit. Leading this charge is our main character, Big Shot Rob.
Bang!
His 16 second-half points are the most of any player in the game. And his last 3 were the most important.
Bruh.
In one of the most consequential games of the Shaq-Kobe era.
Give you chills. I remember
12
this.
seconds remaining in the game, the Lakers have fought all the way back to make it just a 2-point ball game. Kobe makes his move with 7 seconds left. He misses a floater. Shaq misses the tip.
Shaq misses.
The ball is batted out.
Bruh. Bang!
Now that's balls.
Yo, oh my gosh, bro. Oh my God. I love watching clutch shots, big shots. I don't care who the superstar is, who the player is. When just the magnitude of the moment, the pressure, the season's on the line, and watching that shot go in.
This is the
look
tip.
at it.
The ball is batted out.
Waited my whole life for this.
Now that's balls. He walked into this game already carrying the reputation as one of the game's great clutch players. Spearheads a furious second-half comeback and buries the most dramatic, game-winning shot possible to save the Lakers' season and championship hopes.
Kobe threw it. Yo, Kobe knew.
The Lakers' season and championship
Kobe knew. Look at Kobe's reaction. Arms already up before the shot goes in, bro. Shout out to the Mamba, man.
There have only been a few LA athletes in the last 35 years that can match Big Shot's killer instincts.
Sheesh.
He's right up there with Kirk Gibson, Kobe, Gretzky, and OJ. We've gone through 9 Robert Horry moments so far, And we're not even going to talk about his buzzer beater against the Pacers in the 03 season.
Bruh.
A regular season game winner? Come on. This is Robert Horry we're talking about. He signed with the Spurs as a free agent after the 03 season.
Man.
Of course.
He did it to the Pistons.
Second season in San Antonio, he was facing the defending champion Detroit Pistons in the 2005 NBA Finals. The Spurs jumped out of the gates and won the first 2 games of the series. But Detroit rallied and bodied the Spurs in games 3 and 4, winning both by a combined 48 points. The Pistons' outstanding physicality and defensive intensity was clearly bothering Tim Duncan. And with the tide of the series shifting in favor of the Pistons, Game 5 was crucial. Another Pistons victory, and that 3-2 hole seems mighty deep. Like 14-year-old listening to Breaking Benjamin at 2 o'clock in the morning deep. Game 5 is tight, and Duncan is struggling again. But our hero is waking up. Right before the third quarter buzzer, Robert buries a triple. His first points.
Bang!
He nails another one to start the fourth. And with 4 minutes left.
Look, mind you, look at the fourth quarter back in the day. This is 05. It's 79-76. Fourth quarter with 3 minutes remaining, bro. Today's NBA, that's halftime. Maybe.
Left in the game, he makes a huge three to
Over
keep the
those.
Spurs in.
Over those.
At this point, the game is his property. He saves it again.
Bro, if Horry boomed that on Ben Wallace just now.
Then he does it again. And again.
And again. Wait till they leave him open for the inbound.
Looking for his 6th championship ring. Coming off the bench at the age of 34, Big Shot Rob is doing it again. The game goes into overtime, knotted at 89 points apiece. The Pistons control the period and hold a 4-point lead with just 90 seconds remaining. Horry catches a low pass and uncorks an absolute mother right on top of Richard Hamilton. 9.4 seconds remaining.
Nah, bro. What?
Horry catches a low pass and uncorks
Who's that on rip?
Absolute motherfucker right on top of Richard Hamilton.
God.
And with 9.4 seconds to go, the Spurs trail by 2 points.
And I remember watching this NBA Finals series. I'm so captivated in the moment. This series was phenomenal. One of the best I've ever watched. And I think, if memory serves me right, Detroit was potentially going for back-to-back championships. And I honestly, going into the series, I was actually rooting for Detroit, bro. But you can't. It's one rule that I learned at this moment that I still carry on to this day. You never forget about the inbounder. And it wasn't until I saw this game that I guess that cardinal sin was like fucking created, bro.
Horry is the inbounder. He is absolutely on fire. You'd think the Pistons, one of the great defenses of the modern era, would have someone whose job is just do not leave Robert Horry open under any circumstances. They do not.
Bang!
He drills the three. Spurs win. All in all, he scored 21 of the Spurs' last 35 points. It was his highest score.
Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Parker, but it's Robert Horry that puts up 21 of 35 in the fourth quarter. You shitting me? And overtime? Are you shitting me?
Scoring playoff game in 8 years.
Hold on, let's bring it back a little bit.
All in all, he scored 21 of the Spurs' last 35 points. It was his highest scoring playoff game in 8 years. In a potentially title-swinging finals game, with guys like Chauncey Billups, Tim Duncan, Ben and Rasheed Wallace, Manu Ginobili, Rip Hamilton, and Tony Parker out there, 34-year-old Robert Horry was the best player on the floor and counted the most.
Crazy.
That is Big Shot Rob. Just when you think you've seen it all, just when you think there isn't anything else this
wide
guy
open
can do, he does it again. I'd say he saved his best for last, but that's not technically true. That was his best, but it wasn't quite his last. In the 2007 playoffs, he nailed a dagger in the first round to ice Game 4 against the Nuggets and take a 3-1 series lead. A clutch shot that is so innocuous in his catalog at this point that it hardly bears mentioning at all. And the last stand of Robert Horry, his little bighorn, the last time he swung a playoff series, came against the Suns in the following round. Phoenix is wrapping up a Game 4 win that will tie the series at 2 games each. Time to act is now, thinks Robert. At 36 years old, he has to get creative. To change this series, he has to do something careful, precise, and impeccably timed. Most importantly, it has to be subtle. So he body checked the piss out of a dirty hit, you might say. A cheap shot, in fact.
Oh,
wait,
no. I ain't gonna front. This was that was the play that got half the starters on the Suns suspended. Oh my gosh, bro.
Clayton, dear Clayton, surely this did not affect the series in any way. This is an act of pure frustration, nay, barbarism.
And they created the bench rule, where a player can't leave the bench because of this game.
Sweet summer child, silence your trills. You see, Robert Horry knows that if he lays out Steve Nash, Nash's teammates are going to get pissed. And if they get pissed, they're going to try to confront him. And if they want to confront him, they will have to leave the bench. And in the wake of the malice at the Palace, the NBA has instituted a rule that mandates any player who leaves the bench area during an on-court altercation be suspended for at least 1 game. Did Amar'e Stoudemire, the Suns' second-best player, get pissed? He did. Did he leave the bench area to confront Horry?
He did.
He did. Was Stoudemire suspended for the critically important Game 5?
He was.
He was. Did the Spurs win the game and then the series en route to another championship, granting Robert Horry his 7th and final NBA title?
Crazy.
They did. And this time, he didn't even have to take a shot. I'm not normally one for idolatry, but if someone were to pray to a basketball player for good fortune and fair tidings, I might suggest Robert Horry. When he retired after the 2008 season, people wondered if he should be in the Hall of Fame. Is he a Hall of Fame player? No, not by the standard of what that usually means. But should he be in the Hall of Fame? Unquestionably.
Ooh, good question.
He'll never get in. So let's do the next best, most logical thing and rename it the Robert Horry Basketball Hall of Fame. He knew exactly how good he was. He consistently made teams better on both ends of the court. And you had to have him out there at the end of games, no matter how old he was, no matter how many points he did or didn't have. Because in the biggest spots, he was the guy who was going to get it done somehow, some way. No player who isn't an all-time great has had more all-time moments than Robert Horry.
Like, for real, bro.
He's the best role player of all time, and honestly, I don't think it's close. As time goes on, we'll see guys that win MVPs. We'll see other guys that win championships. But I have a hard time believing that we'll see someone who won as much as he did. And it'll be a cold day in hell before anyone does it better than Big Shot Rob. Praise be to his name.
I knew I was gonna enjoy this. Man, I watched this man do half this shit that this man is talking about, bro. Clay, I lived this moment, bro. Robert Horry was literally that clutch. But I appreciate him getting his flowers, because you can't, like, regardless of what you think of the man, like, we're not comparing him to MJ or his impact like that, but he got 7 rings. That's one thing he could say, regardless of how good you were as a player. How many, are you chipped up? Are you chipped up? The only player that wasn't a part of the Bill Russell Boston Celtics with 7 rings. Now, obviously, he played with great players, and that positioned him to win those rings. But, man, he wasn't... It's so crazy when you got to bench a starter to put a bench player in one of the biggest games of the season. That holds weight. I don't think people understand that. I don't care about the points that he averaged. That holds weight. We got to get rid of a starter to put this man in the 4th quarter of an NBA Finals, because we know he can make that shot. Not only will he take it, but he will make it, and he'll be the reason we win. And again, he's Robert Horry's the reason that Tim Duncan got to 5. Robert Horry's the reason that Kobe Bryant got to 5. Let's keep it a bean here. When we give those superstars credit for those championships, let's not forget the role players that actually helped them achieve those things. And not just any role player, but Robert Horry. This was the best role player in NBA history. You're not going to find no debate, man. But I do think it's an interesting debate on whether or not he belongs in the Hall of Fame, because his moments were memorable. And I do think, like, not only do you have to be able to, when it comes to the Hall of Fame, you got to be able to sustain a level of greatness for a long period of time. I'm not going to say this man was great, but he did sustain that clutch factor. He was the reason why these franchises won chips, whether it was because of a defensive play or a shot. Like you heard it in that Detroit series, 21 of 35 points came from your bench player. 21 of 35 in the fourth quarter and overtime was Robert Horry. Oh, not to mention the game-winning 3 because they left him wide open. Oh, my God, you can't make this shit up, man. Appreciate you guys. Hit the like and subscribe button, man. We out here giving flowers to real great players. Robert Horry, today's your day. Congratulations, my man. Mamba out.